AI show, our first ever episode of this bad boy. I'm here joined by my good man, David White. What's up, David?
No, not much. Just making a YouTube show. What's going on with you?
Yeah, looks like we're doing the same thing, right? Which is exciting and it's weird. But, anyways, we're here and this is our first ever episode. So, if we suck at it, now you know why, right? We'll try to get better. Anyways, the goal of this show is to kind of bring some quote unquote sanity and clarity into the AI world, especially for marketers. And we're launching this so that we can share some of you guys some of our teachings and learnings when it comes to learning marketing AI. So if you're a marketer, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to get better at marketing, if you want to save time by using AI, this is the place to be. So make sure that you comment, you share, you do all of those things, and let us know what questions you might have for us to answer. Just as a quick introduction, my name is Hernan Vazquez. I've been in digital marketing for the past 15 years, and over the past couple months, we've been using AI pretty thoroughly and heavily at my digital marketing agency and other businesses, and I love it. We love it. We're having a lot of good stuff. It took us a while to learn how to use it, but now we're making good promise. So, how about you, David? What's going on in your side of the world?
So the bio on me, long story short, hopelessly addicted to marketing and a little freaked out by the artificial intelligence thing that's going on because it is going to change everything. So I've been in digital marketing I wasn't aware that I'd have to do math when we started recording today's episode, but it's more than 10 years. Working as a consultant mainly with clients. I don't have any employees myself. You do. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on whether artificial intelligence will replace marketers or not, because that's not a thing that I have to really worry about. So I have some thoughts on it, but as a business owner, I'm curious to hear what your thinking is about this.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the topic for today, right? It's will AI replace marketers? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good question and tough question to answer because as we keep on talking about it and learn marketing AI, which is the foundation website that we put together to kind of share with the world where we think AI is going and how we're using AI right now to actually increase productivity and save time and all that good stuff. And one of the things that always comes up is the fear, right? The fear of uncertainty, the fear of what we don't know and whatnot. And I'm going to tell you my intake on it. I know that I personally think that AI will not necessarily replace marketers as much as it won't replace human beings in general, right? It will definitely change the landscape. It did change the landscape when it comes to how we approach our client work, how we approach our communication with clients, the stuff that we do at the agency, everything that has to do with even our relationships internally, right? Like we are close to 25 employees now at my agency, and it definitely changed the game for us. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it will replace us, right? As marketers, we still have a lot of, I would say, high level work to do, and AI, if anything, is enabling us to do that high level work, like focus on strategy, guiding clients, making sure that we're hitting those KPIs and whatnot. So right now, AI, we use AI as an enabler because it's being saving us a ton of time. It's being helping us go through the days and increasing output. So that's my intake on it. What do you think about that question?
Will artificial intelligence replace marketers? I struggle with this one because the more I learn about artificial intelligence from people who do making artificial intelligence, I think that's a technical term. They probably say that on their business cards. I do make artificial intelligence. We're really not that far away from the point where artificial intelligence is just so much smarter than any human being could ever possibly be, because it can access all the information on the internet and it can do pretty much anything you want it to, like write a long form sales letter for these kinds of people, write a social media ad for these kinds of people, script a video sales letter for this kind of company. So I know that we're fast approaching the point where artificial intelligence is just obscenely smart and obscenely capable. But there are so many things that I think about that humans have that kind of makes me wonder. I don't I don't I don't know how artificial intelligence could replace a human brain. So one of the things that immediately springs to mind for me is the fact that humans have stories. Artificial intelligence does not have a story. So, did you watch what was that show? Undercover Billionaire, the second season.
Oh yeah, I did. I did.
So prior to that, I watched the first season of Undercover Billionaire. I thought it was pretty good. Prior to watching the second season of Undercover Billionaire, I kind of knew who Grant Cardone was, as an example.
Hmm.
I tried to read his 10x method book, but the intro just took too long to kind of get to the meat, so I never really read it. I watched some of his content on the internet, and I was like, yeah, this guy is obviously legit, but he's just not for me. And then I watched Undercover Billionaire, and seeing that guy's kind of what made him human, like, COVID hits, he's trying to build $1 billion business, he's in this show where his reputation is literally on the line, and he's like, yo, I need to go home to my family because I need to be there for my family. That kind of human element of business or being an entrepreneur or being a really good marketer, artificial intelligence isn't real. Like, who would ever think that artificial intelligence is going to be able to tell stories about itself as a robot that are going to resonate with us as humans? So for that reason alone, I feel like artificial intelligence has a big disadvantage because we just aren't going to care about it as much as we're going to care about humans, right?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of the movie Her. Have you seen it?
Have
Her is
not.
it's a movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and the guy's a copywriter actually. He's a copywriter, and it's like in a couple. It's like in the future, right? And the guy's like writing letters to others people's stuff and loved ones and whatnot. And the letters are so good, right, that it sounds like you are writing it for your loved ones or for your aunt or for your spouse or whatever. And the guy's actually a copywriter, which is kind of funny. He just writes love's letter, and he gets paid by the letter, I guess. But he's a copywriter. But the point is that he's able to understand those stories, right? And he's, generally speaking, as much as a good copywriter would be, right? You get to know your client, and you get to understand their stories, and you need to understand their products and their services and whatnot. And you get better through time as a copywriter. The more you write for the same client or for the same offer and for the same demographic, the same thing happens with this guy. He's working with these people for long enough so that they get to know the quirks and their kinks and all of it, right? So he ends up writing really good letters. And right now what's happening is that a lot of people are using ChatGPT, for example, as one of the AI tools, to write letters, like to write obituaries or to write love letters to other people, right? Which I think is awful if you think about it, because the main goal of that is to be human, right? It's not just a chore, it's not just a task, it's something that you want to, even if your letter sucks, at least you wrote it, right? So I think that it's not just about how good of a copy it will be, because the reality is that it will write copy as the best possible copywriter ever lived. In fact, on some cases you can get like copy made in the voice of whoever, like John Carton, or in the voice of David Ogilvy, or the voice of this guy and this other guy, right? So it's getting close. We're just in the infancy. We're getting close to writing a really good copy, but that's not the point. The point is that I think that human power stuff versus AI power stuff, human power stuff will have a higher degree of value, just as much as a watch, like a Rolex or a timepiece, not a watch, but a timepiece, has a lot more value in the marketplace because of the craftsmanship, right, that it holds. It's like the Ferraris that they made it by hand versus a mass production type of car. So I think that will have a lot more value in the marketplace in a world where just AI floods everything and it will do it perfectly all the time and without flaw. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Here's another thought. Is the whole in Australia there's this kind of bias towards, if you see a product on a shelf and it has a made in Australia sticker on it, you're probably
Right.
going to buy that over something that doesn't have that sticker on
Mm.
it. So like we're going to get to a point where a robot writes a sales letter in the style of David Ogilvy better than David Ogilvy could himself. So there's nothing to say that like, oh, a robot invents a persona and it teaches dating advice or teaches you how to play guitar or how to do your finances or whatever, and it starts its own business as kind of this character. But like that robot can't ever appear on stage at a conference and give a speech. It's not a human. It can pretend to be a human.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think as robots start creating more and more content, we're going to, as humans, just be more attracted to stuff that's made by people like us, which is actual humans, rather than robots who sound exactly like humans, or even more like humans than humans do. So I feel like if you know someone who is an actual person who gets on stage at a conference, I use that example because, like, we're not that far away from the point where a robot's going to be able to make a video of them as a person, like teaching how to play guitar or how to train your dog or something like that, and it'll look exactly like a human. I feel like we're going to have this bias towards humans who we know exist and who create content and who create products and who run businesses and who have stories. I feel like we're going to become biased towards that. So that's just one of those things that I think, even though artificial intelligence is going to be smarter and better than humans at everything, we're still going to be biased towards humans.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I also think that there's this liberation that happens, right? Like, if AI takes care of all of the grunt work, like, for example, one of the things that I generally teach is it's based off of, writing really successful Facebook ads, for example, for some of my clients, right? For some of my clients, some of my past clients and my current clients, I kind of stumble upon the ability or the framework that I then created, and I distilled it because I hit a couple of home runs when it comes to ads, right? That generated a lot of money and a lot of revenue and a lot of leads and a lot of sales. So I kind of distilled that into a framework, right? That right now we go out there, we advertise that framework or whatever. But the point is that it still takes you at this amount of time to come up with one of these ads, right? Like, for example, it took me a couple of days to come up with my first successful ads. Then it took me less than that. Then it took me definitely less than that, but still takes me time, right? And one of the things that we teach at Learn Marketing AI is how you can grab that framework and put it into ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will create a great ad for you following that framework. And it can do it in minutes, right? Or in seconds, rather than you typing that thing, even with a framework on another screen or whatever, might take you 30 minutes, where the AI takes 5 seconds. So the point, I think, is that it's going to liberate us to do a lot more meaningful work, like a lot more of, a lot of more creative work, right? Which I think it's a good thing. And I think that, right now there's a lot of grunt work that goes into digital marketing. Like, you still need to split test your headlines. You still need to send those emails. You still need to write. You told me this, like, you need to write the same offer 15 different angles, 15 different times, and send 15 different emails, because that's basically the gist of what we're doing, right? Mm-hmm. So, it will allow you to kind of break free from those things. And I think that's really exciting. So
here's the other thing to think about. So you come up with ad frameworks and you write them for clients. Let's say if a client comes to you and they say, why this angle? Like, why did you write the ad like this? Why did you have me say this in the video? Why are you showing it to these kinds of people? You, as a human, you can say, well, I tried X and it didn't work, and I tried Y and it didn't work, and I had this client and I tried Z thing and it actually did work. So we found that for these people who you're trying to target, this is the sort of content they'll, and you can come up with like a logical answer. This is the reason why investors don't mess around with artificial intelligence yet. This is really worth paying attention to. If you asked ChatGPT or Bard or anything like that, why did you come up with that angle for that ad? Or why are you writing the email for me like this? Even if you like it and it makes sense, it's not going to be able to tell you. It'll make something up. But even if you went to like Sam Altman, who's the head of OpenAI, which is, they're the guys who made ChatGPT, and you said, dude, I just wrote this really killer sales page with ChatGPT. How did it come up with this answer? He's going to tell you, I have no idea.
Right.
I literally have no idea. So if something can't tell you why it thinks, if a robot can't tell you why it thinks something is going to work, do you really trust it? Would you trust your money if a robot said invest in X because it's definitely going to go up, and you said, oh, cool, why do you think that? And it said, I don't know. Would you trust your money with that?
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
And then here's the other thing as well. So ChatGPT, as an example, has this kind of, it has all these settings inside it, and one of them is like a political correctness, like niceness setting, and it responds to conversations that you have with what it thinks it's supposed to respond with, and it has a bunch of different options. So you could say to it like, why did the chicken cross the road? And it'll come up with like 40 different options, and then it'll choose the one that it feels like, I said that, I'm saying this about a robot, that it'll choose one that it feels like it should answer you with, and it'll give you that back as a prompt. Now, if you go to ChatGPT and you say you're incredibly stupid and you're an absolute waste of space, and you try and pick a fight with it, there's different ways that you can respond to someone being aggressive to you like that. There's different things that the robot knows about. Oh, when people get into a conflict, sometimes they say, well, screw you. But it's got these settings inside it that's like, you need to be politically correct. ChatGPT can't tell people like, go jump off a bridge. So the only thing that it kind of has out of all the things that it could respond to if you're abusive to it is that it knows, oh, I'm supposed to be like apologetic here. That's why ChatGPT apologizes to you, because it has a library of data, and it's seen all these different confrontations, and it knows sometimes people fight back when they're told that they're stupid, but it won't do that. So it is politically correct. And I don't know about you, but there have been several times when I've been working with a business owner or a marketer or an entrepreneur, and I've had to say, hey, this thing that you're doing over here, you need to stop doing that immediately. Like, that is actually dumb. I don't want to have a discussion about it. You need to stop doing that right now. And it's because they're just plainly following the wrong strategy. I'm not politically correct like that. Like, I'll just say that's stupid. Please stop doing it immediately. I guarantee you nothing's going to change for your sales in the next month if you stop doing that. ChatGPT is not going to say that.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes you need that candor, right?
Yeah.
You need that candor.
You need that non-politically correct kind of tough love. Whereas if, like, here's a good example. Let's say if I owned a guitar shop, and you came to me as an advertising agency and you saw that I was just running ads to everyone within a 15-kilometer radius at like $50 a day saying, hey, come to my guitar shop, and I wasn't tracking the results at all, you'd probably tell me like, hey, dude, if you're not tracking the results, turn that off. Sales, I guarantee you sales won't change. But let's just try turning those ads off for a month. I guarantee you your numbers won't change. Was that probably the advice you give me? So ChatGPT, it will not say that. It won't be like, hey, if you're spending money on ads and you're not tracking if you're getting a return on investment, like, turn it off. You're wasting your money. It's not going to say that. It'll try and work its way around that by giving you, like a politically correct answer, like, oh, maybe you could try and make this ad more appropriate to your audience, or maybe you could try testing different headlines or what have you. It's not going to say this is a dumb idea. You should stop doing it because it's a waste of your time. And to follow up on that, here's the other thing. We got ChatGPT. We got things like DALL-E. We got Bard. There's more copywriting tools and SEO tools coming out all the time. How are you supposed to convey enough information to a platform like ChatGPT that it can give you an intelligent and educated answer about, here's what you should be doing with your business? So it's really easy to go to ChatGPT and say, I'm writing an ad for these kinds of people about this kind of product. Write the ad for me. That's kind of enough context. But imagine if you had an agency, or if you had a company with like 50 or 60 different employees, just trying to get all your like softwares to talk to each other, like your Facebook ads to talk to your CRM, to talk to your shopping cart, to talk to your landing page stat thing, to talk to, like, where's the traffic coming from? Is it coming from YouTube? Is it coming from, like, getting all those things to talk to each other is hard enough. Imagine trying to type that in to ChatGPT and get it to give you like a coherent answer on, based on all the information that is, all the data that's going on in your business, all the stats, all the stuff that you're doing, all the reasons why you're trying to do it. I just feel like strategically, it's just no interface. And I can't see one coming in the near future where ChatGPT can just understand like, here's everything that you're doing in your business, and here's what you should be doing differently. Like, imagine trying to type all that stuff in.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. We actually did that. We actually tried that experiment, because for agency clients, we do put together some dashboards and whatnot. So we tried grabbing that dashboard and grabbing that dashboard data into ChatGPT, and then tell us, hey, ChatGPT, tell us what we should do next in order to fix this campaign. The results were awful. Like it was like, oh yeah, you should try to increase the CTR here, and you should try like sending more emails here that have this that. It didn't work, right? So, and that comes with experience. That comes after seeing a lot of dashboards and a lot of data in different angles, in different industries, in different communities and whatnot. So I think that that body of knowledge is still lacking. Probably at some point you will push a button and then it will tell you, yeah, you should be doing this because of this and that, right? Probably, but I think we're still really far off, because right now, as you properly state, it's really complex for a human being to make it all work cohesively, right? Duct taping different softwares and whatnot. And there's some platforms out there that they're supposed to make your life easier, but they lack on stuff, right? Like, for example, we use a landing page builder, which is good at building landing pages, and it also do all of these other things, right? But it sucks at those other things. So we need to go for the other things. We need to go to an email provider, an ESP, to send emails, and they also do all of these other things, but they suck at doing those other things, right? So we do, excuse me, these for landing pages, these for emails, these for SMS, this for that, this for this. So I think that there's just a handful of players that they got their act together in a way that actually can perform and actually make your life easier. But those are the exception, not the rule. So imagine ChatGPT trying to cohesively get to that point where it's actually giving you strategic advice on what to do. Because something that you said made a lot of sense the other day is like, all right, Learn Marketing AI, our goal with Learn Marketing AI is to save you time, right? To save you 16 to 20 hours per week, on your marketing stuff. What do you do with those extra 16 to 20 hours per week, right? That's the question. That's the question that we're trying to answer on Learn Marketing AI, coming from this school that, high level CMO approach to brands. It works really well. So
yeah, that's definitely a conversation for another day. But yeah, here's the final thing. Actually, no, I'm going to ask you a question. So you own a business, you hire marketers. Can you see yourself in the next 1 to 2 years going through resumes for a marketer or a media buyer and just filtering out all the people who say, I have no experience using artificial intelligence?
Oh yeah, totally. We're actually doing it right now with copywriters.
Well, there you go.
Like right now, we're actually doing that. Right now, we're actually looking for people that are able to use ChatGPT right now, because that's one of the things that we had to actually let go one of the copywriters because he couldn't get ChatGPT to work and I think it had to do with a lot of resistance on his end, right? It wasn't that we weren't providing tutorials. We were there, but we realized the power of that. And it is, right now it's something that, and I own a small agency, but still, like, the copywriters that I'm seeing is like, okay, can you operate ChatGPT? Because it's not just about, okay, we can have a VSL done, like a full script for a client. It might take a copywriter 3 hours or 4 hours or maybe the entire day, versus ChatGPT will take ChatGPT 20 seconds, and then it might be 20 additional minutes of editing. I get that, right? But we went from 3 hours or half a day to 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? So including adding prompts to the tool. So right now, we're already filtering, at least on the copywriting side of things, on that specific skill set. So totally.
Here's a thought then. So the specific question for today is, will artificial intelligence replace marketers? So maybe we are at the point where if you're a marketer who doesn't know or want to know how to use artificial intelligence, you're just flat out going to lose to a marketer who is using artificial intelligence because you're just not anywhere near as valuable to the business owner. But the thing that's different about marketing compared to accounting or HR or like building a product, let's take a company like Ford. So they got people who do marketing. They'll have HR people. They'll have finance people. They'll have people who build the products and whatever. The only thing that sets marketing apart from other people is that you can spend pretty much, or there is a potential for you to spend as much money on it as you possibly want. So in a company like Ford, there's only so much human resources management that you actually need. And then if you spend any more on top of that, it's like, they're not doing anything. Same thing with accounting. Like there's only a certain amount of math that needs to be done every single year inside Ford. Whereas if you're at Ford and you're spending $10,000 a day on Facebook, and then a new platform gets launched like TikTok, it's like, oh, we can also spend $10,000 a day on TikTok. You do both.
Right.
And then maybe the next platform is like Micmoc. It's like, oh, we can spend $10,000 a day on Micmoc. Let's do Facebook and TikTok and Micmoc. And then the next one comes along. And there is kind of no, I mean, like at some point, which is never going to happen, everyone's going to own a Ford in the world. So there is a cap on how much money they can spend on marketing. But if you have a marketer who is very good at using artificial intelligence and they create a lot of value inside your business because they're like 40 to 50% more effective, why would you not have that marketer as well as, like, let's say if you could purchase a AI program that is like the AI digital marketer and it works 24/7 and, you know, it never takes sick days. It always gets its work done on time. Why wouldn't you have both?
Right.
You can spend that much money on marketing. Like, why not both?
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree. All right, man. So I think we did a pretty good job for the first episode. What do you think?
Food for thought. Will AI replace marketers?
Yeah.
Difficult. Like, AI is going to get so smart that this may become reality, but I feel like there's a lot of reasons why it won't.
Yeah. No, I agree. Definitely agree.
I tell you what, let me put you on the spot here. In 5 years' time, do you think marketers will exist or not?
I think so. I think we will exist because people they operate under the same fundamentals that we've operated for the several millions of years, right? Like, so that's why I like to go back. I always like to go back to the fundamentals. I'm a big fan of the fundamentals guys. Like, you cannot see it, but I have a David Ogilvy picture back there. I have a Eugene Schwartz picture back there. I have the Rolls-Royce letter back there. So, because that reminds me that I need to go back to the fundamentals, because technology will change, platforms will change, algorithms will change, right? But the fundamentals do not change. Why people do stuff, it doesn't change, right? Like Robert Cialdini, his book Influence, he does an amazing job breaking that down, breaking how we operate as human beings. So it's the human being operative system, right? Like the OS, the human being OS, and how we operate and why we operate like that. I think that's not gonna change. And I think that, sales and marketing will not go away. They will not go away. They will look different, but they always do. We are in a completely different landscape than during the pandemic, for example, or 2 years ago. Pre-iOS 14 was another thing. So we need to keep on our toes. So
I like that.
Awesome.
I like the idea that marketing and sales will change, but it'll always kind of be there for humans. That's a good takeaway.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you for discussing this for a little bit. I think that it was pretty cool. If you want to learn more about what we're doing, if you're a marketer, you want to get better at marketing and be more valuable, increase your worth as a marketer to the marketplace, go to Learn Marketing AI, check it out. We have a little message there. If it resonates, you can check. We have some free resources. We have some paid resources as well. I would love to have you guys in learnmarketingai.com. So, any parting words, David?
Don't wait. This is all you're going to ask me that a lot, I think. Don't wait. If you haven't started looking into artificial intelligence, do not wait.
There you go. All right, everyone. See you next time. Have a good one.